As we approached, the headlights illuminated what I can only call a creature of about 7 feet tall. It was covered with hair and was walking on 2 legs. In the illumination of my headlights, it appeared to be grayish in color.
Please support this channel by subscribing and leaving comments.
We don't have a lot of battery power tonight.
It moved very upright and sort of human-like, but not quite.
I've seen them.
No animal would do that.
We're actually not seeing them so much, it's just out there at night and these things are screaming.
Telling you about it right now, there's a chill going up my spine.
And I look up and see it, and it covers 2 trees, and the trees were a lot wider than I was.
The first and only time I've ever seen my granddad run.
Caddo Lake in eastern Texas is known for its beauty and great fishing. But there is a mystery, as some local residents claim to have encountered a large, curious, unknown creature.
People are seeing something. What they're seeing, I don't know. I have no clue what they're seeing.
Many of the reported encounters have happened to couples parked on lonely country roads.
This area does have a history of sightings dating back to the early 60s, rumored to have even killed a couple of people.
Very thick woods on either side. I heard something walking up, and I turned around, and there was a creature standing there.
The Encounters team has come to Marion County, Texas with new technology to investigate whether the Caddo creature is an actual unknown animal species or just a local legend.
The monsters aren't supposed to exist. And this thing is motioning for me to come to the window.
Cryptozoologist by profession and driven by her own mysterious encounter, Autumn Williams travels the world.
Thousands of people can't have seen something that doesn't exist. All we need is proof.
Sometimes at dawn, or the edge of dusk, there's a fleeting glimpse of an impossible sight.
Do you have it?
Get it. I see it.
Let go!
What's the range?
The sightings are real. The technology, cutting edge. Are you ready for mysterious encounters?
This wet, remote area of Texas looks a lot like other areas we've investigated. Louisiana, New York, Washington. There are vast tracts of uninhabited land, plenty of places for an elusive creature to hide.
As I drove away, she said, "What the hell was that?" And I said, "I don't know, and I'm not going to hang around and look to find out."
The back of the hands was skin, okay, and some of the face was more skin coming through than hair.
This thing screamed back at us, and just from the volume and the resonance of this scream, it was like your hair just waved.
I heard a scratching on the screen, and I looked up, and I seen this thing. It was showing its teeth, and it was doing its hand like this.
There seems to be enough data, enough information, enough evidence for us to take these things seriously.
I know these creatures exist because I've seen them.
So loud that it just, the inside of your ears tickled. I mean, it shook them.
What really bugs me about the entire thing is people are so afraid to give reports because they're afraid to be ridiculed.
yes, I think there's something going on, and I'm very interested in what these people are finding.
The creature is similar in description to the Pacific Northwest Bigfoot. Craig Woolheater, founder of the Texas Bigfoot Research Center, began investigating this after his own sighting on Memorial Day 1994, a day he will never forget.
As we approached, the headlights illuminated what I can only call a creature of about 7 feet tall. It was covered with hair and was walking on 2 legs. In the illumination of my headlights, it appeared to be grayish in color. And we both saw it simultaneously and said to each other, "Did you just see what I just saw?" as we passed. And we agreed that we both saw it. And I asked her what she thought she saw, and she said, "I think I saw a Bigfoot." And I wanted to go back to see what it was, and she didn't. So we just kept going, unfortunately.
Bobby Hamilton is another eyewitness.
Just outside of Garrison, Texas, it scratched on the window screen. When I looked to the window, it was motioning for me to come to the window. And I can remember the teeth. It was showing its teeth. I was petrified.
Hamilton is so convinced that what he saw was a Bigfoot creature, he founded the Gulf Coast Bigfoot Research Organization.
So I started in 1996 actually doing field research on these creatures. And to date, since I started field research, I've seen 3 more creatures.
I hear so many incredible stories from perfectly credible people that I really want to know what it is that's out there.
Autumn Williams is a cryptozoologist and field researcher, a specialist in the search for as yet undiscovered species.
This one's very, very long. Now, these creatures that you saw, did they have long?
They have long, shaggy hair, yes.
For over 13 years, I've investigated reports of unknown animals throughout North America. The Caddo creature is fascinating because the eyewitness reports are so similar to other stories the team and I have investigated thousands of miles away.
Most eyewitnesses are unsure of what they have seen. Eyewitness Penny Houston's first encounter was on a lonely back road as a teenager. These amazing stories and more when Mysterious Encounters returns.
If you look at strictly the science of it, they don't exist. But if you look at all the reports and all the sightings, it's very possible.
I just don't know if it's true or not, but I continue to search.
Caddo Lake is the largest natural lake in the South and is located in northeastern Texas, about 150 miles east of Dallas. The Encounters team is investigating eyewitness reports of a large, curious creature that haunts the wild backwoods. The locals call it the Caddo creature.
Sightings of these creatures are common in areas where wilderness borders civilization. The swamps and thickets of East Texas are perfect for hiding a creature, even for one as large as this.
So there's a lot to look out for besides just the creature.
In the late 1970s, Penny Houston and a young couple were stopped along one of those remote rural roads.
This isn't supposed to be standing here looking at me.
That's when she came face to face with a large creature standing only 5 feet away.
Me and a girlfriend was in a car riding around, and she had her boyfriend with us, and so she wanted to stop and, do whatever. Come on, you guys, so dumb. I decided, well, I'm gonna get out of the car. And I got out of the car, and there was woods on either side of this dirt road, very thick woods. And I was kind of leaning across the car in the back of it, and just wishing, oh, come on, let's go. I heard something walking up. I turned around, and there was a creature standing there. It was about 5 feet away from me. I had to bend my head all the way up to see its face, and I remember moving my head, turning my head. When I did, it did. And all it came out of me was just like a little, and it went one way and I went the other, just terrified. I was like, oh my God, open the door, because she wouldn't let me in. They had the doors locked. I was just beating on the car, and she finally did let me in.
There's nothing out there. What are you talking about? There's nothing out there. Just go! 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 Try. Go! Go! There's nothing out there. Go! Go!
It was crying. I was so scared. It was gray, had gray shaggy hair, and it was kind of an ape-looking face. It had very long muscular arms and legs. It was at least 6 or 7 foot tall. If it had wanted to harm me, it would have harmed me. You know, all it had to do was reach out and grab me because I was right there.
But this was not to be her only encounter.
We have screens at night. What we do is we put a baby monitor out on the back porch. This is the second baby monitor. They tore up the first one. I've seen them, you know, standing behind trees and stuff. A couple times it would sound like they would actually pick it up, the baby monitor, because it would sound like they were chewing on it or sniffing on it or something.
Witnesses who tell of ongoing encounters in a rural setting are surprisingly common. But being witnesses and not researchers, they rarely have evidence to support their claims.
The fact that the Houstons have gathered evidence in the form of hair samples will help us to determine the validity of their story.
Okay, this is a sound I recorded from Dave and Penny's home. They did it over the internet one night, maybe 3 nights ago, I guess it was. Just a couple of seconds.
If the Encounters team is to solve the mystery, they will need hard evidence.
Here's some hair samples that I have from my place.
Okay, these are the ones that you were telling me about.
Yes.
These are really interesting. This one's very, very long. Now, these creatures that you saw, did they have long...
They have long, shaggy hair, yes.
And how did you collect these?
Off of my barbed wire fence with the baggies. Turned wrong side out.
So they haven't been touched?
No.
And these look reddish-brown. Mm-hmm. And I can tell you right now that they have a tapered end, which is really encouraging. I couldn't tell you what these are, but we have somebody who can.
Okay.
From some sort of animal.
Bigfoot investigator Lugo Remoto has visited the Houstons several times. During one of his visits, he obtained this very brief piece of footage by accident he says could be the Caddo Lake creature.
Definitely looks like it's moving right there.
Film expert Doug Hychek isn't so sure.
So if you look at the footage, this supposedly would be the right arm, the left arm, the head, shoulders, and I'm not sure what these other highlights represent. You have frames where there's pixel smear where the arm just appears to be moving, but all I have to do is just look at other fixed objects in those same frames and I see the same exact shadow changes and movements, which is simply caused by pixel smear. So in my estimation, it's just a tree trunk that looks like a Bigfoot. I'm pretty sure it's just a fixed object. I think it's just a misidentification.
But the Encounters team wants to obtain evidence of their own. Not an easy task in a state where everything is big, including the swamps.
I've got 78% out here.
So you're going to use this to go way up in the tree?
We'll use this pulley.
If the big guy's walking on the edge of this bayou, we're probably going to get a shot of him.
Still cameras and waterproof infrared video cameras will be used to watch game trails 24/7, wired to new HD TV Marantz digital recorders known as DVHS. This slow-moving videotape will allow team members a much longer recording time at higher quality.
So we don't have to come out and change tapes as frequently as we have in the past.
Something the team has only dreamed of. The 6-wheeled amphibious Max ATV, known as the Beast, will allow the team to deploy camera traps in areas inaccessible or too dangerous to access by foot. From high above, aboard a new Flotograph Helium blimp.
I can tailor it to do just about anything we want it to do.
Here the team will place various camera systems to survey the huge area during the day.
We can cruise up over the trees, we can hover over the water, we can go cruise right over the water real low.
By night, it will be converted to pierce the thick forest canopy simply by mounting a micron thermal imaging camera, locking in on anything warm-blooded.
It'll be able to remote operate from any location.
See, that's nice because we can see in between each of those trees right there.
Remote piloted vehicle designer Tony White knows this sophisticated airship is just what the team has needed.
We have a blimp.
Voila.
The hunt for the Caddo creature begins.
You know, like that, and jumped over, and I thought it was a dang bear.
It really didn't scare me any. I guess because I was in the safety of a moving vehicle.
Up to the bank, we saw something that walked. It was literally standing in the edge of the water about hip high, and it walked out and covered a space of about 20 yards inside of 3 steps.
Eyewitness reports have brought the encounters team to rural Marion County, Texas. Witnesses and local Bigfoot researchers have provided the team with hair, video, and audio recordings of a large, curious, and unknown animal they call the Caddo creature.
Because of what I saw, I believe they exist completely, and you can't tell me otherwise.
The team will need to split up to cover as much territory as possible. Autumn and Charles will take a boat up a remote arm of the bayou, where locals have recently heard strange screams.
So how much wilderness is there back behind this stand of trees?
Anywhere from 8 to 15 miles without human houses. This is one remote place.
Their goal is to elicit a response by playing recordings witnesses say are that of the creature.
And you've had recent vocalizations here?
In the last 3 months have been reported to our club.
And this is a
of
really
course,
good
there's quite a
place.
bit that's not reported to our club.
This is a really good place to try the call blasting then. Did you hear something during the second call?
I thought I heard something out there. It
thought
was
I
too
did
far
too.
away.
I'm gonna go in as far as I can go on foot and set up and see if I can't get some shots. There's a place where they've been moving, or at least we're told.
Hunters have reported seeing these creatures from their
Just
tree
exactly
stands.
the right color.
We'll
Look at
try to replicate that scenario.
I'm ready, Barry. Let's go.
Yeah, the light's going.
And Vlad will report anything strange he sees or hears.
Yeah, Vlad, this tree right here. This is a great tree. Think it's gonna work?
Yeah, it'll work, I think.
Team member Vladimir is hoisted high into the trees. Here the team will place various camera systems to survey the huge area during the day.
The volts isn't on for the
I'm gonna head off and find my spot in the swamp. So I'll see you. You know, you can get a hold of me by the radio. Okay.
Wildlife photographer and team member Mario Benassi is experienced in capturing images of elusive creatures. He readies for the hunt. His camera is outfitted with a 4th-generation Starlight lens, allowing him to see in near darkness. Meanwhile, the blimp is ready to launch its mobile night ops mission from above, using the thermal imaging camera.
Okay, we're powering up. Going through a system check. The thing I like best about this camera is the fact that if we have a creature standing way back in the woods that thinks that we can't see it, it's wrong.
We're looking good. All we need is an animal now. It's all worth it when we do get one coming in.
What really keeps me doing this is the possibility of filming an unknown species of animal.
With everybody in place, they now can only wait.
If I had any one thing to say about anything I saw that morning is I'd love to see it again and not be quite so damn scared of it.
I've now examined these 2 samples of hair that I've received from Texas and have come to the following conclusion.
The Encounters team is in Marion County, Texas, attempting to collect evidence of a huge, curious, ape-like animal locals call the Caddo creature. But what about the hair and audio evidence provided by eyewitnesses Penny and David Houston, who claim ongoing encounters with the creature at their rural Texas residence?
The sounds are very close to the sounds heard in African gibbon, which is a primate that has a mating call of about 3 seconds ascending in frequency, similar to the sounds that were recorded in Texas. The ability to make a positive identification would be difficult for anyone under the circumstances of having a single tape and a noisy one at that. At this point, I think the identity of the sounds on this tape will just have to remain a mystery.
Dr. Henner Fehrenbach, a hair expert from Oregon, has examined the hair samples carefully, probably the best physical evidence of the Caddo creature's existence.
One of them consists of a very thick fiber that may have been hair but is completely deteriorated by fungus and age, so we can discard that one. The second sample, however, is very intriguing. It is primate hair above all. It has the typical reddish brown color. All these hairs are very short and they are ripped out by the roots. However, the ends are worn naturally, so despite the fact that the hairs are short, it is their natural worn condition at the end. So all told, I am reasonably confident in this case that this hair constitutes authentic Sasquatch hair.
If researchers like myself are willing to suspend disbelief, if only long enough to examine the evidence, then people like the Houstons may have an opportunity to validate their own stories. Perhaps it will be new cutting-edge research technology like the Flotograph Blimp that will finally help the team to prove the existence of these creatures in the future. For now, the Bounder and the team are off to yet another area of mysterious encounters.
If you're enjoying all this rare and unique content, please show your support by subscribing and leaving comments.